Hey everybody, welcome to my review. Before I begin, like the video, put on your notification bell so that you can know when my next video uploads. And if you like the video, come down in the comment section. Also, I'm gonna need y'all to subscribe too, okay? Don't forget to subscribe, y'all. So this is a review of The Handmaid's Tale. So we have Serena in the Wheelers home. They making her take pictures for their grand opening for the fertility center, which was her idea that they took over. And you could tell Serena is very uneasy about it. Um, she wants to be the face of it, but she want to do it on her terms, and it don't look like it's going to be that way. So Miss Wheeler wants Serena. Well, how it started, Serena asked Miss Wheeler if she can come to the grand opening of the fertility center, and Miss Wheeler was like, "We don't need you there. We just need to take Noah because that's who they want to see." So Serena was like, she think it would be a good idea for both of them to be there. And Miss Wheeler was like, the baby started crying, and so she was like, I need to nurse the baby. And Miss Wheeler was like, you need to give him a bottle. I mean, that's what he was having while you were in the detention center. Like, she was throwing jabs at her, right? So Serena was like, it's gonna confuse him. And Miss Wheeler was like, oh, my smart boy will not be confused. Like, she keeps throwing jabs at Serena. So Serena was like, Miss Wheeler, she thought she was back in Gilead. And she was about to say something, and then she said, okay, no problem. See a scene where Serena is putting her milk in the refrigerator, and as she's leaving to go back upstairs, she see Mr. Wheeler in his office. She decides to go knock on the door and talk about the grand opening of the fertility center and picture herself to be there so she could be the face of it, her and the baby. And Mr. Wheeler said it's a good idea and he's going to consider it. Now, in my mind, I'm thinking, girl, why you go behind that woman back? You know she don't like you already, so why would you do that? But go ahead, Serena, do you, boo? So in the next scene, you see Serena putting the baby in the car with the maid or the helper standing there. Next thing you know, Miss Wheeler's coming out the door, and Serena's like, blessed be, with a smile on her face. Miss Wheeler kindly walked down the stairs and slapped her on up and told her to stay there away from her husband. She ain't say it like that. I'm just saying it like that. Okay. So Miss Wheeler was like, who do you think you are? Serena was like, I am Serena Waterford. She said, you're just a whore to me. Serena still thinks she got clout. She already let her know you a visitor here, boo. So next thing you see Serena talking to the women at the fertility center, letting them know that Gilead was a good place. It was clean water and, you know, all the whole spiel, blah, 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 blah. Then next thing you know, you see the Wheelers coming down the stairs and they call Serena over. They kindly told Serena that she can go home. She looks tired. Serena's like, no, I'm fine. Miss Wheeler said, no, you can go home. You look tired. We'll keep the baby here because that's who they're really here to see. So Serena, you know, pretty much gave in, but she wanted to, I guess, not put up a fight. So she said, let me nurse the baby before I leave. And Miss Wheeler was like, didn't I tell you to keep a bottle on you at all times? And she was like, I didn't bring one. And the helper, the maid, I don't know what to call her in Gilead terms. I don't know what she is, but for lack of a better word, I'm going to just say helper maid. She was like, oh, I forgot to put a bottle. So Serena had to end up going into the back of the office or the building to breastfeed the baby. So her and the helper was going to the back. Serena was like, can I have some privacy? And the nurse gave her the bag. I mean, I said the nurse. The maid, the helper gave her the bag. And Serena goes in the room. She's standing there looking around. And next you know, she makes a dash for the exit. She runs outside, try to stop some cars. She jump in front of this Jeep, about to get herself killed, you know. And then when the car stopped, she was like, can you help me save my baby? And the lady was like, come on, get in. So she hops in the car, and Serena is on the run again, y'all. I wonder where Serena going. Who house you going to? Are you going to look for June? Where you going, girl? Well, thank God you're breastfeeding. Well, look, we got this weirdo scene with Commander Lawrence, Aunt Lydia, and Commander Putnam's wife. So pretty much they let her know that she can, as a widow, cannot stay in the house that she's in anymore. So she's like, Oh, okay, no problem. Can y'all put me in a condo? Da 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 da. Commander Lawrence was like, we are not your real estate agents, okay? Or realtors, I think he said. So basically, Aunt Lydia was like, Commander Lawrence, present her with what you want to present her with. Basically, because he's not married and she's a widow, they not falling under the Gilead values. So basically, he says she needs security and he needs to follow the traditions of the Gilead values. So he proposes that her and the baby move in. She was like, "Is that a proposal?" And he was like, "I mean, it's an option. It's an option." Um, so before he presented her with that option, she was like, "Please don't send me to the colonies." So like, really, nobody's safe if you ain't following the Gilead values. You become a widow. You could become a handmaid, as you can see with Serena, or you could be married off to a commander who don't have a wife, or who knows what else. Child, it's just too much going on in Gilead. So then we have this final scene with Commander Lawrence, and it's some of the commanders after the strike that happened, where the Canadian people try to, what I call them, American people try to do a raid on Gilead, and of course the intel was jacked up, and all the planes got shot down. But the commanders are meeting, and the wives are sitting outside. The wives are standing over Commander Nick's wife, asking her weird ass questions, and she looking at them like, "What is going on?" But it was just a weird scene. But anyway, the commanders was like, "We were successful. Canadians won't let the Americans use their airspace anymore," and Commander Long was like, "Well, we got to accomplish what we need to get accomplished." So he starts to walk out, and then I believe this is the commander that has June's daughter. He was like, "Well, June is causing more of a fuss. We need to do something about her." Of course, they scan over to Nick to see his facial expression. And Commander Lawrence's back is already turned, so they can't see his face. And, they need June, so they not trying to do anything to June if they're going to make New Bethlehem work. So the commanders go outside and join their wives. Commander Lawrence goes stand next to Miss Putnam, which I guess she's going to be Miss Lawrence now, to show the united front of the Gilead values. That is such some bullshit, but that was the end of the scene with Commander Lawrence. So then we have June and Luke meeting up with Terezzo at some headquarters or whatever. They're planning, the airstrike, and they have a guy come over, one of the soldiers come over. He said he's planning on going in to get her daughter and coming back to be with his daughter. So they let June and Luke sit in on the operations. They just watching the screen because supposedly the planes went in under the radar. So everything was looking successful. June was praying over Hannah, and they showing scenes of Hannah, in looked like a hallway. They got these girls in the hallway in some tents or whatever, and it's the back and forth scene with them. And then next thing you know, all hell breaks loose. They lost communications with the planes. They rushed Luke and June out as they waiting in the hallway. Terezio comes out to let them know that all three planes were struck down. There were no survivors, but the girls are safe. So June is like, what does that mean? Come to find out, Gilead knew they was coming in. So that intel they got was some jacked up intel. It was a setup, if you ask me. So June is at the house on her porch, and she gets a phone call from Commander Lawrence. Commander Lawrence apologizes for the bloodshed. Um, Said that she can come to New Bethlehem, and she was like she want her daughter there with her. He wants June Osborne to pretty much be the poster child for New Bethlehem. He brings Nick up, and she was like, "What you think? Bringing Nick up is gonna make me do what you want me to do?" She know what his game is or whatever. He really trying to sell this New Bethlehem to her. Then he got the nerve to ask her to go public to call the attack foolish, and she was like, "I'm not doing that. Then I'm gonna look like a victim." She said she's not doing that. So he was like, step by step, he said he has to do what he promised Eleanor. And June was like, Eleanor didn't even like. Now, Eleanor is Commander Lawrence's wife, in case y'all didn't know. And June was like, yeah, she hated you. She was ashamed of you. She said so much that she wanted to die. June said she watched her die and did nothing about it. So Commander Lawrence on the other end looking stressed out and like, I knew you had something to do with it. He said, but I still have to help Hannah, striking that soft spot in June. June pretty much tell Commander to go F himself and hung up the phone. She starts tearing up her garden and out comes Luke and, trying to calm her down. So June meets with Terezio. She said, Terezio said he shouldn't have trusted those sources. Of course not, because look what happened. She lets Terezio know that she talked to Commander Lawrence, and of course he knew or whatever. Anyway, Terezio wants her to try to convince Nick to help them out and be the inside man, or he could come to Canada and have full immunity. He wants June to use the power that she has, and June was like, she's not ready for that, and I'm sure she ain't ready because she's thinking about her daughter Hannah and how she gonna get her out of that damn Gilead. So he arranges for June to meet Nick. June basically said to Nick, like, why didn't you take the offer? He was like, why didn't you say yes to New Bethlehem? Because it's getting better. And pretty much at the end of the day, he said he can't leave. June said she can't leave her situation. He wants her to tell the baby Nicole that he loves her and that he's always thinking about her. He tells June that she loves him. June says she loves him. And I swear June thought she was getting a kiss or something, but he just moved on and kept walking. So pretty much June stopped him and was like, a child looks up to their father, try to do better. So they show June making all these faces. She's crying, laughing. I can't really read it, but it's some weird ass faces, okay? So the last scene, they're having a ceremony for the soldiers that got shot down in those planes. And have the daughter of the guy that said he's going to get her daughter to come back to his, come up to say the Pledge of Allegiance. So June goes up to help her, and then next thing you know, there's gunshot. I'm assuming those gunshots were from the protesters, but they were shooting at the American flag. I wonder if this is a telltale sign, because this is pretty spooky, okay? Anyway, guys, that's all I got. Like, comment, and subscribe. Come down in the comment section if y'all want to talk about this video. Thanks again to my new subscribers. I really appreciate you guys. Peace.